So, the ministry of the church, one tribe is to be priests. 12 tribes are to be marketplace people. And we are focusing on only one out of 13 of our ministries. The rest are dormant. That's why we are where we are. That's why people like you now, your season has come. Believe me, if you see where you are headed. Old Testament. Watch. All these are marketplace books from Genesis till Songs of Solomon. Watch. There is only one book, and this thing I just mentioned now. Count it, Genesis to Songs of Solomon. After Ecclesiastes, Songs of Solomon. All these are about marketplace people, normal business, career people. The only book there that dealt with priesthood is Leviticus. That's the only one you should remove. Leviticus is the pastoral epistle of the Old Testament. Yes. So if you remove Leviticus, which is the third book of the Bible, that one focuses on the priesthood. All the other ones are marketplace people. Now, after Songs of Solomon, you will see prophets. Then you meet Daniel, another marketplace person, a prime minister. Then prophets. Look at like a book like Esther there. Look at it, Nehemiah. He was a person working in government, like almost like a chief of staff. And they had enough revelation that God said is sacred, put it in the Bible. And they changed the destiny of a whole nation. You cannot leave this retreat and go back to be that normal person. You have assumed that ministry is only for these ones they call pastors. That's why your country is decaying. Do you know that almost every time there was reformation in Israel, it's one king. If it's not Hezekiah, it's Josiah. It's one king that led it. A few times there were prophets like Elijah and so on. But even what Elijah did, if you ask me, it looks like Jehu even did double. Jehu was not a prophet. And this is listing of the books. Almost 2/3 were on marketplace. When you now go in to look at the characters, the people they were discussing, majority of the discourse were marketplace people that God used. Do you see the revolution that is now coming? This is where the church needs to open her eyes now. These people, you're calling them members. No, they are the atomic bomb. God needs to shake the world. Starting with you. Go and start a revolution in one field. If it is teachers, carry reformation to schools. If it is youth, carry reformation to the youths. If it is whatever, and while you are doing it, be creating wealth and be transforming that sector. If it's area boys, carry reformation to the streets and to those boys. If it's this poverty thing, I'm waiting for the person that will introduce reformation in this issue you call house girls and people. Now, you can't hire. You go get them. They can poison your children. They can even finish you. But that thing can be transformed. And it can become another type of Esther movement. And the people, the household that will come and take them will sign no sexual abuse. And this child must be given full education. And your organization is monitoring. And now, the families can get safety. They know their children, because they are taking somebody that has gone through process. You have mentored them, you have discipled them, you put right values in them. They won't harm people's children. They won't harm people's families. But you also provide laws. You can work with lawyers that they are not abused, they are not denied their rights. They are people's children. Somebody should not come help you raise your children. You destroy that girl's life. No education, no nothing. You say her to be hawking. As if she's not somebody's child. Meanwhile, your own children are going to school. Somebody is going to bring a revolution on this master servant thing. This apprenticeship system of the East. It has become corrupted now. Our guys are not safe. The boys too are not safe. Everybody's trying to bring the other down. There is a whole large field of ministry. It's only one out of the 12 that is pulpit. When you go to watch football, it is 12 playing, the coach is supervising. What we have done in church, we have turned it the other way. The coach is playing, the 12 are sitting. The 11 are sitting watching ball. Take this man from this industry, put him here. The same thing, he will rise to the top. Take him from here, put him there. Even in prison, he became the prison president. Once you pump air into football, you cannot drown that ball. I had to take my children to the beach to teach them that. They will put the ball on the beach. I said, pack sand on it. They will pack. Water will just come like, you see the ball on top floating. I said, okay, kick it far into the ocean. I want it to drown. You see the next wave, the ball will ride on it and return. You cannot go under if you have those three competencies. So anybody jealousy you is wasting his time. Then we got another ball. We say deflate all the air, remove all the air. You put it on the ground. You can use sand and bury it, and it's buried. You throw it into the water, it drowns. The same ball. So pump this 3 air into your helium gas. They keep you on the ground, you will float up. There is a law in Scripture. And that law is that the solution always appears before the problem. You can sit down and be complaining, I'm analyzing problems. No. The answer is now within. I'm sure you have heard, necessity is the mother of what? Because people will not look inward until problems. The provision is always there before the problem. But the problem is now needed so that the provision will be revealed. There are answers. There are new dimensions to economic development. There are new dimensions to governance. You see this one we collected, this thing they have been practicing for the last 50 to 60 years. Every day they sit in the Senate. It's not leading us anywhere. There are changes that will happen. But the people carrying it now are the ones that need to arise. This whole thing that you see going on is a setup for you to emerge. Who are going to be the John Calvins? Who are going to be the John Wesleys? Who are going to be the next? Because what we need now are reformers, not normal preachers. People should watch the direction I'm going. It's not this normal talk on the pulpit that can get the job done. Who are going to be the John Calvins? Who are going to be the Elijahs? Your time has come. Watch now. A major elder statesman from this part of the country just went home. Another major one from Southwest went home. And the gap between the two, the one from Southwest went first, 96 years. Within 1 week, he wasn't up to 1 week. The one from here went home. Whether is he 90, I think 1 year older. Be watching now. 5 years will not pass. You might not even finish this year. When you see some of the things I'm talking about, some of our fathers will be going. Spiritual fathers. And they're not going because they've done anything wrong. It's an end of an era. It's an end of an era. You see that message that the church, Pentecostal and the church has carried, he has taken us so far. What he did was to bring us out of Egypt, but we are now stuck in the wilderness. There is now in you. Listen to. That's why if you're in this kind of environment, listen now. It's always a small group that God uses to spark a revival and start a reformation. Listen to the new sound of the trumpet. Listen to the new sound of the trumpet. You see all this prosperity, talk, without productivity. It's not going to lead us anywhere. Not as a church, not as a nation. You see all this prosperity without moral values, righteousness, it's a sinkhole. You see all this prosperity without social compassion for the poor. It's a sinkhole. It's just greed rebaptized. Reformation is here. Reformation. We have entered the kingdom age. And there is a new church, imagine. This new church will not just be church of men of God, pastors. The Josephs, the Daniels, the Esthers are going to rise and take their place. So the men of God can be the coach, and the Josephs and the Daniels can be the players. Where the church is now, this is what the church is doing. Stalked in the wilderness. Yes, the fathers did a brilliant job because they brought us out of Egypt. And we are stalked now doing this. Listening to the new sound of the trumpet. There's something now that heaven is saying. There's something for the now. The message for the now. Because what God is calling for now is a generation that will move in and take the promised land. Take back their nations. Take back the institutions. We are going to see more and more of your type of pastors. More and more of your type of pastors. And becoming a pastor doesn't mean they have dropped what they are doing. You have a vision for government. Don't stop. And every one of you should leave here, start one small group and take young people. Oh, these are young people who don't want to go to church. They are all backsliding. It's a lie. There is a new season. They are waiting for that new sound. They are tired of this bankrupt Christianity that is not going anywhere. We're in a season of reformation. Once you see Goliath, there is a David song. Once you see famine, Joseph is somewhere there. Once you see Pharaoh, there is Moses. Because the problem can never be ahead of the solution. That's why the Bible says the Lamb of God was slain before the foundation of the world. Before Adam fell. Look at Genesis chapter 1 now. The creation of this universe. Did God create man and start wondering where is the oxygen that he will breathe? Did God create man and now start looking for fruit, trees, and vegetation? Did God create man and now say, hey, whoa, I forgot water? No. All the provisions were created first. Then man was now introduced. This is how it is. You are the solution hiding in hiding. It's time for your manifestation. You are. You're busy looking for who will solve the problem. You are. And that's why the problem is here now to force everybody to wake up. And you know, when it comes to that dream of Pharaoh, God permits certain dreams. No, that the magicians cannot interpret it. The astrologers cannot interpret it. All the whatever. Go and bring the children of darkness. They will not be able to interpret it until Joseph shows up. What is troubling Nigeria? The unbelievers can't handle it. Because remember that at the heart of it is corruption. And corruption is a moral issue. So, is it Tinubu you're expecting to have it when pastors don't have it? The answer is going to confront the church. That's what I'm saying. And the answer can come even with a Nebuchadnezzar in office. It can come even with a Pharaoh in office. But the answer will not come through the Pharaoh. It will come through a Joseph. And that's what causes everybody, including Pharaoh, to recognize the God of Jacob, the God of Joseph. The whole thing is a setup. And in the school of foresight, which is one of the gifts that Joseph have, ability to see problems ahead of time and come up with solutions. The book said, if you are not prophetic like some of us, study end-time prophecy. Then study global trends. It's like this year. Some people are trying to know the direction of this year. Just study last year and the year before. It's not. There are climates. It's like when rainy season starts. Then you notice that everything starts springing up. That new rain has started again in the spirit. Something has shifted again. So when you see them 17, he was released to Egypt. He has left family. He was sold as a slave. Daniel 2, 17. David 2. At what age was he anointed king? 16, 17. Because They have grown them and mentored them. It's like Moses. The mother knew, I'm not going to keep this baby for long. So the moment they brought the baby to her, both the spiritual, the everything, he started putting it into Moses immediately until the age when Pharaoh's daughter came and collected him. They have put enough in him to produce that prophet that you saw later. So you see the implication of this when it comes to children, teenagers, and mentoring young people. You meet a 35-year-old man here, he still doesn't know his purpose, his left from his right. A 17-year-old boy is ready to take on national problems. That's what is going on in Israel. Israel today is the startup capital for the whole world. All that now spread to other nations, that's where it's coming from. And these young people. That's what the kingdom church must look like. That's what this new era is going to look like. God gives us different talents and giftings according to our several abilities. There's a language that has been popularized in Nigeria. It came from America. And it's a beautiful principle, except that it's not complete, it's not whole. It's still on one leg, which is follow your passion. Follow what you love. When you're hungry, don't follow your passion. Follow what is bringing money. When you have money, you cannot do your passion. Yeah, I'm doing my passion and you die. If your passion is not relevant to the market, it's useless passion for now. Keep it or don't throw it away, but develop something that is of value to the market. That's why one of the qualities of Joseph is what? Foresight. To be able to look at global trend, where things are headed, what will be the need of the present and the need of the future, and you position. What was the thing that he saw? Famine coming. So if famine is going to be the need, don't be offering grammar. Agriculture, food security is what we need. Food and water security. So if you position yourself in that business, you're going to be a billionaire. So look at what is going on. The book said, and this is what one of the things that have made me an outstanding person, because I'm blessed with foresight. Oh, tremendously. See that Daniel gift and Joseph gift. But let me tell you, you don't have to have that gift. Seeing vision, interpreting. No. Study end time prophecy. You will see the trends, what will be happening in the world till Christ comes. All those trends are telling you the type of businesses to start, the type of ministries to create, the types of interventions you can come up with. Because as long as you're coming up with something that is relevant to the time, you will stand out. Don't come and be selling fridge when you are in the North Pole. Yeah. Everywhere is frozen. They don't need your business. So what happens is that you have to do 5 times more marketing, because you are selling something that is not relevant. There's something called an idea whose time, that's what foresight gives you. So look at the problems of the society where you live. Find 1 or 2 that you can develop solution or services or ministries or whatever to begin to address. Can even be training. And people will be rushing to pay you because you are addressing their problem. Even if you are in ministry, that's what makes a man of God relevant. That he has understanding of the need of the time, and his messages are designed to solve the problems. Trust God, though, to solve your own personal problems. So you don't go around disgracing yourself because you saw somebody in authority. Trust God to meet your needs so you're not a hungry person. Even if you're hungry, pretend. When you gain access to powers, don't go there to ask for anything. Go there with a solution to one of the problems that they are having. And that's what gives you everything. I don't think you heard me. Oh. Even the rich also cry. Even the people in authority have what? Headache. Study them. Go Google their policies. Download what they say. 5-point agenda. Because usually they write those things. They don't know how to go about. Find one of their headaches that you can find answers to. Whenever you are given access to any leader anywhere, don't go there to make demand. That's the mistakes of young people. Look for a service or a solution you can render. And then you know what? They now carry that in. Other people begin and give it to you. Before you have opportunity to go to any man in power, in influence, in authority, study them, Google them, research on what they are doing and what they are trying to do. Ask God for wisdom to come with answer to one or two of those problems. That's how the door of the palace opens for you permanently. Don't go to a man in leadership and add more problem to their headache. Next thing, they will close the door. From the gate outside, though, once they hear your name, they've told them, seek for a value you will add before you make any request. Esther, what do you want? I will give you to half of the kingdom. He said, I don't want anything. What I want is for you people to come and eat. You've been working, so I want to throw a party for you and Haman and all that. And he brought them just to relax, get some massage. Make a deposit first before you make any request. No matter how needy you are, keep that need. Until you have made a deposit, don't make any. If you have not made deposit, don't do withdrawal. You will be in debt. You go to a bank, you have no account. You want to withdraw money. Then you go to one, you even have an account, but the account is empty. Then you want to withdraw. This is what we are doing to relationships, and that's why doors are closing. Make deposits. Then before you make withdrawal. So if you are constant in depositing, a day will come where you might need to draw more than you have. They will grant you the favor. That is how relationship works. Okay, there is Joseph at the raw stage, Joseph at the finished stage, and there are two different human beings. He did vision casting at those two stages, and it was the same dream, but different way of communicating it. First time when he was young, immature, the way he communicated the vision is in a way that he will be the one lording it over his brothers. He showed them his promotion and their demotion. That's why they almost killed him. When he has matured, they've now come to Egypt. He communicated. At this time, they were afraid. He said, no, don't be afraid. God sent me ahead of you to preserve your lives. Everybody joined him and cooperated. So 2 people did vision casting. Joseph did, he almost died. Moses did, 3 million people followed him out of Egypt. What did Moses tell them in Egypt that made them follow? Did he say anything about what Moses would benefit? But you know, in that vision, if they gain that independence, who is going to be their leader? But did he say anything about leadership? What he told them, he cast a vision of a land flowing with milk and honey. He showed them what is in it for them, not what is in it for the leader. That's how you get people to cooperate with your vision. That's how you get people, it doesn't matter who they are, to cooperate with your vision. Because usually, a Joseph might have a dream, but Pharaoh has the money and the power. The man who has the idea doesn't have the finance to finance it. The person who has the finance doesn't have the idea. So what does God do? He brings the person with the money to partner with the person with the idea. Now watch. There are a lot of beautiful dreams out there, ideas, but no finance. There are a few people, 5% of the world, holding 75% of the global finance. Then you have brilliant minds with innovation that can lead the world forward, brighten up this idea. Go to Harvard or go to MIT, tidy it up so that I can now come back. He doesn't have. Even the school fees he can't pay. Now here is how God works. He gives a Joseph an opportunity to share that idea with a Pharaoh that has both the money and the power. Watch. What a Daniel must learn, what a Joseph must learn, is not go to Pharaoh and start talking about you. And start talking about what you want. Is to go to Pharaoh and talk about him and the problems of his people. Watch. Show him what is in it for him. What is in it for his government. If he's a business Pharaoh, maybe an MD, what is this thing can do for his company? How to move his company forward. How to move profitability to this level. I want you to watch. If he's a governor, how to give him something that will help his government. What is in it for them, not what is in it for you. As long as they're talking about you, you are still that immature person. And instead of getting the help, you might get envy and jealousy and enmity. Once people see that what you're doing is for their good, everybody relaxes and cooperates with you. You see the kind of job I'm raised to do in the body of Christ. I can want to make it a specialized thing, DP, whatever. People will break your legs. Your fellow pastors, also. Anywhere I go, any platform I get, I go there to help that man. I'm not interested in me. But do you know what now happened? Pharaoh now says, who is wise and discreet like you? Why should we be looking for another person to carry out this thing? You are the person. Let me give you an example. I had audience with 2 governors just this year. One, I said, I had already studied, Googled all the things he said he wants to do. I have all the data, made some other inquiries. So I knew what his headaches were. Just came in. After all the greetings, Reverend, thank God, that you are here. I know you came, you need to pray for me. The problems that I listened to him when he finished. I said, that's why I came. I came here to help you. Any leader. What the young people do is that they are looking at what they have. No, don't do that. Even your uncle that is rich, leave that. Start looking at that family. He has problems. It might be his children that are going haywire. It might be something else. It might be that man, he's an army general, but he's a leper. But you don't care about their needs. You just want to take for yourself. That's the problem. And when you look at the society, start thinking about the needs of the society, the market, and use that needs to develop something, a solution, services, products, ministries, NGOs, whatever that targets those problems, how to solve it. That's what triggers a movement. Then communication is how you now connect the market to the solution you are provided. Because they will not smell it and know from their house. Somebody has to market and advertise and let them know this is actually here. And then people will start coming. And as you make impact, be upgrading the result, the testimonials. Get people who have experienced what you are doing to do endorsements. My God. Did you hear what he said towards the ending? Even when Moses' generation died in the wilderness, Joseph entered the promise because they brought out his bones and skeleton and carried them with them as they were going. The ark was in the front. Joseph was following the ark. But let me ask you a question. Now, he said today we're discussing Joseph. What's the name of the Pharaoh that Joseph worked with? What about the other officials, any of those politicians? Any of their name? Yeah. The only reason Potiphar is being remembered is not because of Potiphar. It's because of Joseph. You wouldn't have known who he was. Live for something greater than yourself. This is how to achieve immortality. People like that don't die. See, today we're still talking about Abraham. We're still talking about Jesus. See, you are here following Jesus. Somebody that died how many? 2,000 years ago. But the difference in his case, he rose, or he's alive. Who knows the type of brand of car Joseph was riding? What about his designer? The type of clothes. Was he Gucci or what? Who knows the type of house he lived in? What about his chariots? What about his bank account? Why are we discussing him today? Because of impact. That is how to outlive your time. That's how to gain time and gain eternity. It's people like that heaven is built for. People that serve their generation. What we're teaching is that there are two types of development required. Actually, PCJ has given you 3 legs. After the training you get in the church, there is a secular training out there. So you can balance. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? So if you watch Moses, for example, his parents brought him up. His father was a priest. The mother too was from the tribe of Levi. But after they did that, God took him away and put him in Pharaoh's house to go through the University of Egypt. If you look at Daniel, after the 70 years of being raised in Israel, God took them to Babylon, the University of Babylon, with other people. Some of the classmates were astrologers, magicians, and other, with his 3 friends, and they had to be schooled in the midst of that. Because you're going to be dealing with the real world, not church world. David was raised. There was a time he was taken to the palace of Saul. Why will you take a godly child, 17 years old, to a demon-possessed king? He wasn't sending him to go and learn how to be demon-possessed. He was sending him to go and learn the art of governance, the art of warfare. When David came to Saul, it was catapult he was shooting, slingshot. When David finished, David was now a warrior that fights with sword. He wears armor. When Saul tried to give him an armor the first time, he couldn't wear it. So I think one of you said level 5 leadership. It has cost. It has price. Oh, it has price. You choose where you want to play. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow's session. I've heard it, but I'm going to. You have. This thing is in levels. What the church will be facing in the days ahead is more complex than our level of understanding now. I'm getting myself ready for it, and so I can get God's people ready. This version of you is not the version that will lead this global or national change. Subject this present version. This is the raw material. Subject it to the process. What the 6 growth cycle, please. This year, let no year pass again. And even spiritually, stop listening to nonsense. Stop listening to. So an era has ended Watch the next 5 years. You will see ongoing. Ongoing. Not for anything bad. It's just that an era has ended. The church now needs to move forward. There is a promised land to conquer. There is a promised land to conquer. And it's your generation. Of course, let's be specific. It's you that the world is waiting for now. You. You are the one the world is waiting for. Bow down your heads just for 2 minutes. What kind of exchange? What kind of response? Thank you, gentlemen.